Welcome back. So we're still with our beloved ancestor, Moses Rupa, who we know is always on the run, and I love that for him. I'm trying to get him freed, as in I'm trying to get to the end of his narrative before the holidays, because he shouldn't be on the run in the holidays, at least now in our lives. So I'll jump back in. We walked about a mile in 2 hours, but knowing the punishment he was going to inflict on us, we made up our minds to escape into the woods and secret ourselves. So Moses is chained to an enslaved woman who, like him, likes to run away. And secret ourselves means to hide ourselves. This we did, and he, not being able to find us, sent all his slaves, about 40, and his sons to find us, which they could not do. And about 12 o'clock, when we thought they would give up looking for us at that time, we went on and came to the banks of the Katarba. Here I got a stone and prized the ring off the chain on her neck and got it off. And as the chain around my neck was only passed through a ring, as soon as I had got hers off, I slipped the chain through my ring and got it off my own neck. We then went on by the banks of the river for some distance and found a little canoe about 2 feet wide. I managed to get in, although the irons on my feet made it very dangerous. Yeah, at any point you can sink with all that heaviness, for if I had upset the canoe, I could not swim. The female got in after me and gave me the paddles, by which we got some distance down the river. The current being very strong, it drove us against a small island. We paddled round the island to the other side, and then made towards the opposite bank. Here again we were stopped by the current and made up to a large rock in the river, between the island and the opposite shore. As the weather was very rough, we landed on the rock and secured the canoe. Okay, I can't help it. We landed on the rock, made me think of Malcolm X. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. Well, they landed on it. As it was not possible to get back to the island, it was a very dark night and rained tremendously, and as the water was rising rapidly towards the top of the rock, we gave all up for lost, and sometimes hoped and sometimes feared to hope that we should never see the morning. But Providence was moving in our favor. The rain ceased, the water reached the edge of the rock, then receded, and we were out of danger from this cause. We remained all night upon the rock, and in the morning we reached the opposite shore, and then made our way through the woods till we came to a field of Indian corn, where we plucked some of the green ears and eat them, having had nothing for 2 days and nights. We came to the estate of Blank, where we met a colored man who knew me, and having run away himself from a bad master, he gave us some food and told us we might sleep in the barn that night. Being very fatigued, we overslept ourselves. The proprietor came to the barn, but as I was in one corner under some Indian corn tops, and she in another, he did not perceive us, and we did not leave the barn before night, Wednesday. We then went out, got something to eat, and stayed about the estate till Sunday. So they had 4 glorious days of freedom. On that day, I met with some men, one of whom had irons on his feet, the same as me. He told me that his master was going to see his friends, and that he would try and get my feet loose. For this purpose, I parted with this female, fearing that if she were caught with me, she would be forced to tell who took my irons off. The man tried for some time without effect. He then gave me a file, and I tried myself, but was disappointed on account of their thickness. So I love the way Moses is always caring towards either that woman or another black person, because he got the nuance of sometimes people betray you, like this woman. If tortured, she's she might betray someone, not because she's a traitor, but because the circumstances, the pain is so hard. It's like you have to, until you've been in a horrible situation like that, it's hard to judge people. You should try to reserve judgment, right? Let me continue. On Monday, I went on towards Lancaster and got within 3 miles of it that night and went towards the plantation of Mr. Crockett, as I knew some of his slaves and hoped to get some food given me. When I got there, however, the dog smelt me out and barked, upon which Mr. Crockett came out, followed me with his rifle, and came up with me. He put me on a horse's back, which put me to extreme pain from the great weight hanging from my feet. We reached Lancaster jail that night, and he lodged me there. I was placed in the next dungeon to a man who was going to be hung. I shall never forget his cries and groans as he prayed all night for the mercy of God. Mr. Gooch did not hear of me for several weeks. When he did, he sent his son-in-law, Mr. Anderson, after me. Mr. Gooch himself came within a mile of Lancaster and waited until Mr. Anderson brought me. At this time, I had but one of the irons on my feet, having got so thin round my ankles that I had slipped off one while in jail. His son-in-law tied my hands and made me walk along till we came to Mr. Gooch. As soon as we arrived at McDaniel's Ford, 2 miles above the ferry on the Catawba River, they made me wade across it, themselves going on horseback. The water was very deep, and having irons on one foot and around my neck, I could not keep a footing. They dragged me along by my chain, floating on the top of the water. It was as much as they could do to hold me by the chain, the current being very strong. They then took me home, flogged me, put extra irons on my neck and feet, and put me under the driver with more work than I ever had before. He did not flog me so severely as before, but it continued every day. And this is where I stop. So he runs away, he gets his punishment, and we'll see. Do they manage to break him? Tell me what you think. Thanks so much for listening.